Hi everybody, Adam here. Welcome back. In today's video, we're going to be starting to play Mini Metro, and we're going to start out on the London map. See how we can do here. The goal of the game, we want to connect the different shapes together with our metro lines. Let's not actually put the second color on there. Let's stick with the yellow to begin with, and we're going to make this a nice little loop. And we'll expand out there. So the goal, we've got our metro that we're running. We need to take shapes from each of the station stops here to the correct station. So triangles need to be dropped off at a triangle station, circles at a circle station, and squares at a square station. And we'll get more elaborate and interesting shapes as we go along as sort of rare ones that we need to deal with. We're going to start off initially here. We'll run things as a loop. Makes it easier for the train to kind of circulate around and potentially hit all the different shapes. We'll probably mix in a few additional lines as well. But for now, look at that. We start to try to move a little faster, and the game throws an interesting shape at us here. Let's take this triangle up to the circle there. We'll run that. Yeah, we'll keep it like that to start with. We've got the waterways that are moving through the middle of the level here, so we're probably going to need some bridges at some point to cross over, or tunnels, I guess, to cross under the water. We got another circle over here. It's kind of an awkward spot. Let's try bringing that over to that triangle. So we've got 3 lines going. You can see we do have 3 tunnels. We haven't had to use any of them yet. I'm curious if we actually, what if we went like that and brought this back up here and take you down like that? We could stretch this out to there. And then let's stretch that out to there. So for the end of the first week here, we get a new locomotive to add to our network here, and then we can choose between a new line and more tunnels. Let's try taking a new line. Let's pause for a second. So we shifted things around here. We put this triangle into the yellow loop to break up the 2 circles so they weren't side by side. Not useful to have 2 stations of the same shape right next to each other because circles don't give circles or passengers that are wanting to go to circles. So this makes things more efficient. I shortened things up here. I let the blue line have 1 of each shape. That should make things a little more efficient there. So I think we can start this running forward again. We're up to 50 points already on our 52 completed routes. Pause for a second. That's an annoying shape. Let's see, we'll make the red line pick that up. We can probably, yeah, we'll leave it like that for now. I'd like to do something different with the red line, but for now, probably keep it running as is. We've got a triangle on the map over here. Let's get the blue onto there. And then kind of curious whether we want to loop that back around. Well, for now, we'll just keep it going as a straight as a straight line for the blue track there. I assume something's going to spawn on the other side of the water over here very soon. Oh, we got a unique shape up here, a plus. We can put that into the yellow line. That will probably become an interesting or a spot that people are interested in going to. We'll make some unnecessary traffic for our, oh, let's pause for a second here for our red and blue lines to get to. Name of the game is going to be awkward or shapes and sort of awkward spots and orientations. I think we've got one more line basically. Maybe we should try doing that. Let's go like that. We'll fiddle around with a few of these lines as we go forward to optimize them, but for now, let's see how this does. It's an awkward spot for another circle. Week 3, so we've got another locomotive. Let's take a carriage, as that will be useful. Okay, so pause for a second. Let's grab that. Can we, no, it wants to be involved with that. If we actually bring this back then, I'm curious. We bring you down to there. We can probably just leave that like that. Could probably play around with that a bit more, but that simplifies the light blue there. Make sure it's not going too far in terms of distance that it has to cover. I am tempted to take this red up here and actually bring it down there and then over to there. I think that's a pretty good loop for the red. And we've got a circle down here, so I think we'll stretch red that way. That uses 2 of our 3 tunnels. Oh, it wants us to, it's trying to help us with the tutorial here. It's like, I don't know if I want to drag. Do I want to drag another train onto that line? I already did that. Yeah, okay. There you go. Let's pause for a second. So we've got another circle station in an awkward place. Kind of tempted. If we look at this, we should probably tempted to take the yellow and stretch it there, I think. If we bring that back, because we can probably do the yellow's still a loop, the red is a loop, but we got at least the circle in there to break up the track a little bit. Stretch that one out there. And I guess stretch this one out there. Not ideal, but we can make it work. I am curious. Let's So I don't need two yellows on, or two train cars on the yellow track. It's not the biggest track or route that we have going on. So having it on the red, I think, is going to be a better use of that particular metro car. We can probably even reevaluate the idea of the yellow line in general. Another locomotive. Grab a carriage. So let's stop for a second. I think we can put we come back here, carriage. Let's put you up here on with this locomotive. And let's actually backtrack out that dark blue because I feel like we can. It's a little clunky if we do this, and then if we stretch back here, we can take this, the red to there. So I think that makes yellow and red more, it makes them make a little more sense. They're a little nicer in their layout. And I think we could probably go, if we back this light blue one up and we have it come around that way, we could go, yeah, we could go like that. And maybe even bring that down like that. Think that works better. Saves us a metro line at the moment as well. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, is that not? That is not what I wanted. I see. Can we make that? Yes, there we go. That is what we want. We can make that go there. We've got so many circles, but we do have an alarm over here. So let's go and let's get let's put a locomotive on there with a carriage to help the red line out a little bit. And then for this blue one, we can probably, let's bring you there, and then down to there. Make that into a nice loop with a good sort of shape distribution. We're over 300 points already, 300 passengers that have been delivered where they want to go. So that is a good start. Now we can stretch this up here. I feel like we're going to need another yellow. Another yellow locomotive. So we've got everything on the track. This train can't pick anybody up because it's jammed full of people. Let's grab another carriage. We still do have a tunnel. We may have to do something different. Let's pause. Let's grab you and stick you down there. And let's put the carriage on there. I'm also curious, I think we'll try to go like that. And I think that will help us alleviate some congestion in the middle of the map there. Finally, we have a triangle. That is a good thing. Pentagon. Oops. Yeah, let's pause for a second. This is getting a little clunky in the middle here. Yeah, I guess that kind of makes sense. It kind of, can we take that off? Want to see here if we actually pick this back for a second. Let's try to tidy up the red line just a little bit. Don't like how sometimes it gets a little, it's a little clunky when you're stretching it all over the place. If we were to come like this and this, down to there, down to there, down to there, up to there, and then up to there. And then we could probably even do, that in the middle, and then over here, we could do that. And we could probably even stretch that like that to make these lines a bit more efficient. So many circle stations though. It is a bit nuts just how many circles we have on this end, on this red loop over here. We're up over 600, so we're doing okay. Things have stabilized. Week 6, we get another locomotive. We get a line or a carriage. Let's take a carriage. Let's pause for a second. We have got a diamond. So we can expand it like that. Trying to think if there's a nice way to optimize this. If we were to pull this back and instead we made the dark blue line run, where would we want it to? Kind of awkward to get through this middle section. But we could go to like there, there, there. Maybe all the way over to there. So just trying to kind of have it run through the middle of the even do that. So then we optimize that plus sign a little bit. So then that dark blue loop is not so much a route unto itself, but it's more of a way to optimize across the map. And then we're going to need this because we're all out of tunnels now, I believe. Yep. We're going to need you to come over there. That's less than ideal, but we're doing okay. We've got a square now right in the middle of the map. Maybe let's change. Let's change this dark blue one again. This seems like it's going to be our line that just gets optimized and manipulated over and over and over again. But let's go over to there. Up like that. So that gets us, so we still just have the one bridge, but now it gives us some decent shapes. It fills in some of these ones in the middle of the map that needed to have trains passing through them. We're over 800. That new circle. So let's see, week 7, we can take a locomotive, maybe an interchange. Let's stretch that blue one up to there and that onto there. Oh, we've got a new shape down here, like a pie pizza wedge. We've got, let's add this to the blue so the yellow doesn't get any crazier than it needs to. We've crossed the 1,000 mark. That is handy. Let's pause for a second. Yellow's getting a little dicey. Send that back that way. Let's put the extra trolley car on there. And then over on this side with the newly spawned triangle, we can insert it there. Gives us better shape offsets. Triangle's probably good for the red line there. Week 8, another locomotive, another interchange. We've got dark blue can extend over there. Let's try putting an interchange in here. And let's add another train onto the yellow. Yellow is going to destroy us here if we're not careful. We've got too many Too many locomotives on the line. Let's run it again and see where's one that I can. Let's grab this one right here. I need you to go that way, and please empty that out. Then we've got more for the dark blue. Week 9, we've got another locomotive, liner, carriage. Let's take a carriage. And let's put that on there. That'll help that with grabbing everything it needs to. New shapes to incorporate. Oh boy, we've got a shape down here. And we got run. I didn't even see that one. We ran out of space at one of the stations there. So in terms of leaderboard, that's top 25%. That's not bad. That's a decent place to start with. I'd like to be getting back into, similar to mini motorways, I'd like to be aiming for the top 20 if possible. Top 25 is pretty good though. And not bad for our first time playing mini Metro on the PC here. We head back. That means that next time we are going to be playing on Paris, which score-wise, not too bad. Looks like it's again going to be something where we're aiming for the mid 1000s at a minimum, but ideally we'd be getting up to 2000 for our score. But pretty happy with our score on London as a good sort of jumping off and starting point. Looking forward to going through all of these maps here in Mini Metro. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please make sure to do so so that you don't miss out on any of our upcoming videos. And thank you very much for watching. We will see you again soon. Take care. Bye.